In this video, I'm going to go through every single strength and every single weakness Luffy got, so you can know everything about him before you buy him. And before we begin this video, I just want to say that at 10,000 subscribers, when we hit that, I'm going to give away a Shadow Monarch again. So yeah, make sure to subscribe and let's continue the video. You can get Luffy by two methods. The first one being a very simple one and a self-explanatory one. That's to buy him with 3,600 raid tokens. To do this, you can just press the shop, raid shop, and then here you can see Gear 5 Luffy that's limited. He's available for 3,600 raid tokens, however he's limited and will go out soon. The dates when he's going to be gone forever is unknown so far. The second way to get Luffy is by dropping him. In the raid server you can press play, create, then you can create a Luffy raid and you can see the percentages to drop Luffy. So Luffy is a rare drop of 0.04%. Now this goes for every single reward you get. So basically if you get 30 rewards, every single one of those 30 rewards have a 0.04% chance to get Luffy. It's rare, but a lot of people do get him this way. The bad thing is though, if you drop him in a raid when you already have Luffy, is you will only get 100 raid tokens as compensation. He costs 3,600 tokens, but you only get 100 tokens as compensation if you drop him when you already have him. That's why I usually recommend you dropping him for free instead of buying the character, just in case you actually are lucky and drop in a few raids after that. First of all, we will take a deeper look into the overview of the character. So like every other character, Luffy has 4 main attacks. So the first ability has a cooldown of 5 seconds, which is actually really good. It also has a side effect that it can literally reset the attack 1/4 of the times. So basically if you use it 4 times, one of those times it's most likely to reset it, and you can use it twice in a row. If you're extremely lucky, you can use these moves like 3 or 4 times in a row as well. Here we have the first ability. Basically sends you up to the sky, and if you're lucky enough you can actually use it twice, and I could even use it 3 times in a row that time. The first ability has a 10-hit combo, so you can see here, and you do not get any invincibility frames while using it. One thing you can do with the first ability as well is that you can change the direction of where you're aiming the attack. So if you accidentally miss the attack, you can actually just change the direction like that and hit the target that way. The second ability has a 12-second cooldown, which is a bit longer, and it doesn't have any side effects. Here we have the second ability. As you could see, it was a 1-hit move combo and it deals a lot of damage. While you use it and the animation is going, you cannot move while using the ability. However, even though you can't move during this ability, you do have invincibility frames. Though moves that only have invincibility frames and make you lock in place are usually not that good because it just wastes your time. Third ability has multiple side effects, but it also has a cooldown of 20 seconds. So first of all, it gives you more speed whenever you use the move. Then it also doubles your M1 damage, so basically whenever you hit with your mouse, and also increases the range by a pretty big margin. Here we have the third ability without me doing anything else. So the third ability alone doesn't deal that much damage, but that's because it has multiple side effects. So after using your third ability, you actually gain speed, so as you can see now, I'm much faster than I was before using the ability. This is how fast I was without the ability. And this is how fast I am with the ability. But that's not the only thing that happens. Not only is it low damage and you get a speed boost, you also get these huge fists that both makes you get longer M1 range, so as you can see here, I should not be able to hit this far. It also doubles your damage. So a regular hit would be 130,000 with a crit. And with this ability up, it's 260,000 with a crit. Just like it's said in the overview, it's double the damage. And the fourth ability has a really long cooldown of 55 seconds and doesn't have any special side effects. And lastly, we can take a look at his fourth ability. As you could see, it was a move that had a 15 combo and it deals a lot of damage. It also had a lot of area of effect, so it could hit a lot of enemies at the same time. However, it locked you in place for a very long time. But even though I can't move while doing this attack, I do, just like the second ability, get invincibility frame, so I cannot be damaged during this phase either. However, just like I said with the second ability, moves that lock you in place just to get iframes are not really good moves because it just wastes your time. However, that's mainly late game, and early game and for casual players that are pretty new, iframes that lock you in place are actually pretty good because it increases the likability that you're actually going to survive, because iframes for new players are actually pretty good. However, in late game it will only waste your time as you will lose damage because you can't do anything other than just washing and being locked in place. Luffy's assist is just like his ultimate, just weaker and a longer cooldown. However, this ultimate is worse than stuff like Gilgamesh with the same cooldown. Difference wasn't too big, so Luffy's assist is actually a pretty good assist. But now I'm going to show you some gameplay footage of him in different game modes to see what his strengths and weaknesses are. A good thing with Luffy is that he's easy to use and basically everyone can use him. Not only is he like easy to use, but he's usable by everyone because you don't need to have good stats or anything. You don't have a specific pets or a specific trait to use him. You can use whatever you have on you and you're still going to be able to use Luffy. So there are a few weaknesses Luffy got in raids. First one being his first ability as a whole. So even though 25% chance to reset the ability cooldown might seem good, it also makes it so that general first ability is weaker than most abilities in general. So it's really weak, and it also makes it much worse that you get sent into the sky, because jumping abilities are really not good for raids. They just make you unable to attack the boss afterwards. So if you use your first ability and by chance get like 2 resets, you're in the air so high up that you can't attack the boss and you need to wait a few seconds until you fall into the ground, you can attack again. Now this might not seem that important, but it actually is. It makes you lose a lot of damage. The second problem is with the second and fourth ability, because those take so long to finish, just like I said before. Even though they give me invincibility frames, it just locks me in place for such a long time, so I can't use my other abilities, and it just makes me lose on so much damage. Because in general, you want to be able to use your abilities as soon as you get them up. And if you can't do that, then it's kinda bad. And it's such an extreme case for Luffy because both his second and fourth ability takes such a long time to finish, so it's really hard for him to actually use these abilities. Then you also got the problem that his third ability doesn't really do much. So yes, you do get better M1s, but M1s aren't really good. Even though you get double the damage of pretty weak attacks. And the fact that you really can't use these M1s because of his second and fourth ability. So his moveset doesn't really fit in together. Like, they could be good individually, but them together, those 4 moves don't really match each other. A good thing with Luffy in Dimension is that he has pretty good AoE actually. His attacks affect a large area, almost all of them, and it's really good for Dimensions obviously. However, Dimensions are like raids in this case, because Luffy got more weaknesses than strength in Dimensions as well. So the main problem with Luffy is that he doesn't have a source of movement that's really good. Sure, he got that speed boost, but it's not fast enough for you to travel from one side to the other side really quickly. Another thing is that he can't really kill the boss fast. His damage per second isn't that good, and just like you saw in a raid, I couldn't even get 1 billion damage. So killing bosses are actually a really huge pain. The good thing with Luffy and boss rush though is that you can actually survive from all the boss attacks really easily with the invincibility frames, so the survivability is really easy with Luffy here. And the problem with Luffy in boss rush is that he doesn't really deal a lot of damage per second. So the second ability and fourth ability do deal quite a lot of damage, but they just take so long to actually make the move, so it's too bad. And the first ability doesn't deal enough damage, and the third ability doesn't deal enough damage without the M1s. But you can't do the M1s if you're using the second and fourth ability because it takes so long. In Time Challenge he was actually better than I expected, but still not really good. His first ability, the AoE is fine, just not good enough for Time Challenge. You can't hit every single enemy with your first ability. The second ability is just a very good move. You can't really complain about the second ability in Time Challenge here. You can kill basically every single enemy, and then even though it takes a long time for the second ability to make you able to move again, it doesn't matter because the enemies are respawning anyway. The third ability though is really useless in this game mode. It doesn't deal a lot of damage, the AoE is kinda bad, and yeah, it doesn't do much in Time Challenge for Luffy. And even with the M1s, sure, you can use the M1s, but it's not fast enough, because you want to kill them fast in Time Challenge, but if you're using M1s, then it's not that fast. His fourth ability is one of the best moves for Time Challenge. It's a really good move, it lasts long, it deals a lot of damage, you can't really complain about it. So the second and fourth ability are actually really good in Time Challenge, for once. However, most Time Challenge characters have good all moves, and this character only has 2 good moves and 2 pretty bad moves, so that's why he's not going to be a really good character for Time Challenge either. So in conclusion, is Luffy a good character? Well, no. I don't have a personal problem with Luffy, but in the game Anime Dimensions, he's not a good character. And yes, Luffy is not a great character for you to buy. There are a ton of better characters than Luffy. So if you buy Luffy, then be prepared that it might not be as good as other characters. Even if you do drop Luffy or buy him, then it's not a total waste, as he is better than most gem characters. Just be prepared that there are better raid characters that you can buy with tokens or just drop for free. So if you get Luffy, it might not be the most efficient and best character you can get, but it's still fine. In my personal opinion, you should not buy Luffy, not only because he's a bad character, but also because you can get him for free as a rare drop. So, in my opinion, you should try to get him for free in the rare drop, but then also with your raid tokens, instead of buying Luffy, you can buy stuff that's actually worth to buy that you can't get for free. Stuff like Naruto 6 Pass, you can't get him for free anywhere, but you can get Luffy for free. And yes, I do know that a lot of new Anime Dimensions players are One Piece fans that just came for Luffy. So if you do buy Luffy, then just be prepared that he isn't as good as other raid characters that you can buy. Still, he's better than most gem characters, so it's not a total waste. So as long as you have fun with Luffy and if it might be your favorite character, then it's okay to buy him.